Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Ben the Human Plays Vagrus the Riven Realms. We're here in Devon. We're here ready to turn in all of our stuff to Vagrus at his villa. So let's just turn them in order. We got Deliver Danaram's ceremonial armor. You present the chest to Danaram Vagrus while Serikandar watches on. The young noble gasps as his first glimpses at the masterwork armor set and the crown. Thank you for bringing this to me, Vagrus. How did I used... His voice was way whinier. He was like, thank you for bringing this to me, Vagrus, he says after a few moments. It is exquisite. That's much better. Well, gratitude should be devoted to the dwarves who forged it, Dominus. Serikandar butts in and closes the chest's lid. The good Vagrus merely brought it to us, which is still an important task, but certainly not as difficult as creating the armor. This guy is a piece of work. Danaram nods slowly and then adds, I can only hope that the Vagrus gave our compliments to the mastersmith. For obvious reasons, I myself can only thank who is present here, not the dwarven masters. He looks at the chest. Take this to the vault, Serikandar. The steward bows his head and gives you a pouch of silver coins for your trouble before hauling the chest out of the room. I know the dwarves well enough. They don't need my words of pity or whatever. We will deliver the Tarkian spice fusion. You present the small sealed jar to the young nobleman and the agent in the study. Serikandar raises an eyebrow. And we should take your word that it is the Ilaha Hamun inside, he asks you. You assure them that it does. Have you checked? The agent asks coldly. This guy's a dork. You assure them that the spice inside is the coveted infusion. The Tarkians who sold it to you handled the business with tact and care. Honest Tarkian merchants, that's a novelty. Aren't I Tarkian? This guy's awful. Serikandar snorts, but young Vagrus gives him a look that silences him. The boy produces a letter knife and breaks the seal, and then sniffs the jar carefully. He blinks a few times and then sneezes. Take this to the kitchens yourself, Danaram orders the steward, and compensate the Vagrus for the troubles. Having to pay for this in advance must have been quite taxing, and my family greatly appreciates such conduct. Thank you. Serikandar leaves with the jar, but not before giving you a pile of silver to compensate for travel expenses on top of the price of the spice infusion. Oh, hell yeah, 90 bros. We will deliver the troop of slave dancers minus Zawura. A troop of dancers is brought into the villa, and soon enough, young Vagrus and Serikandar gather to inspect them in the study. Zawura is not here, though. Serikandar walks up and down the line of dancers, becoming more and more livid with each step until he turns to you, his face a mask of disdain. Where is she? He asks you. Danaram Vagrus looks at you almost expectantly. When you explain that you let Zawura go, Serikandar just blinks in disbelief. Then he steps closer, threateningly. Dude, I'll sick my orc pal on you. You watch yourself. Do you have any idea what you've done? A lot depended on the dancer. What is at stake regarding the feast and the senator? And for what? Compassion for that woman? The senator will have to appreciate the troop's talent without his old slave, it would seem. I am sure he would survive this and shall be delighted by all the other things we will regale him with. The voice of young Vagrus rings out clear and with such authority that Serikandar backs off immediately and bows his head to the boy. Of course, Dominus, but the Vagrus here has proven how or where his loyalties lie. What, to a woman that I freed? That makes zero sense, sir. The only thing proven is that the Vagrus's heart is not made of stone, the young noble says with a faint smile. Pay him less for an incomplete delivery, and let us leave the matter behind us for now. The servant hands you the reward in form of silver coins while the troop is taken into the villa. At least you got something out of this. 5! Wow. Alright, and we will deliver the sweet Yurg nectar. You present the jar of sweet nectar to young Danaram Vagrus and Serikandar. The container is promptly opened, and both of them stare into the luminescent, murky nectar. Then Serikandar simply pokes a finger into it and samples the stuff. Dude, you're ruining the honey. Don't stick your fingers in it. That's gross. His eyes go wide. By the gods above and below, he exclaims. This is the right stuff. Well done, Vagrus. I'm sure you had to work hard for this. Not really. We're already pretty good buddies. That is exactly why we sent you, Danarim adds, looking really desperate to taste the delicacy, but Sarkandar closes the lid quickly and takes the jar. Dude's gonna just hoard it for himself. He then begins to walk out of the room until you remind him about your expenses. I haven't forgotten, he says over his shoulder as he walks out, and true to his word, a servant arrives soon with a small bronze chest of silver that you take as recompense for your trouble, along with young Zavaris' profound gratitude. The chest alone is worth a small fortune. Neat. Cool. I guess we will consult the young aristocrat on his upcoming feast. Danaram Zavaris and the steward Sarkandar, the mercenary captain Logdanar, and you gather in the young aristocrat's study. Everything has been prepared for the feast, and the guests are expecting it to begin any day now, the steward says dryly. We would want you to come too, Vagrus, Danaram says, and then adds more formally. You are cordially invited, that is. Yes, well, a great boon that it is. Now, work this time. Oh, no work this time, Sarkandar allows. My boys will be guarding the event. Have no fear. Logdanar winks at you. The young nobleman stifles a smile, but Sarkandar frowns. For your continued efforts, I would like to have you to have this reward. He waves his hand as a steward who takes a chest off one of the shelves and hands it to you. It is filled with treasures, among which are some exquisite arcane items as well. You thank the young aristocrat for the gift. Holy! There was just a dragon egg hanging out in that chest? Rare jewel? Wait. Three rare jewelry, a rare jewel, a valuable treasure, 2 dragon stones, some insight and renown. Heck yeah. Let's leave the villa for a second. I would like to equip... Oh, we should sell all of our... Well, first of all... Oh, I don't have any more active missions. Then let's sell all of our money. Or I mean, our metal. I was wondering why we were so low on money. It's because all of it was tied up in metal. Where did I get all these crystals from? Lord knows. Anyway, almost up to 10,000 again. That's pretty sick. Companions. So, you are missing an item. Wild. Where are those dragon stones at? Here they are. Dragon Stone of Protection. Minus power. He's already got 6 power. That's pretty good. Demon Bone Vembraces. That seems pretty good too. Let's give him the Dragon Stone of Protection. So it'd suck more power, but give him poison resistance and vitality. I think I want to give him the Demon Bone Vembraces instead. What is this? Accuracy? Smoldering Heart? Alright. I think that's pretty good. Go to the feast. Aye aye. Let's go to the feast now. We've got... Oh, actually, I wonder if we can upgrade Scornar. Ah, not quite. We need 4 more insight. Probably we'll get that by the end of this quest, I think. Maybe. We'll find out. Back to the gardens. Visit the villa. You are ready for the feast held by young Zavaris. The feast is about to start. It will take all of the next day, and so you need to rest for today to begin. Are you certain that you wish to do this now? Yes, we will do that. The night passes. We will sleep. The next morning, you make your way to the villa, accompanied by your most trusted. By the time you arrive, guests are all over the property, walking in the terrace gardens, chatting on balconies, and entering the great gates of the main building. Sarkandar personally greets arrivals and hands them over to the servants who usher them inside the villa. You see dread reavers here and there, bolstered by other mercenaries, guarding the premises. Once inside, you have some time to explore. Dude, let's get some food. The kitchens... Oh, dang. The kitchens are off limit to guests. But since you know the dread reavers well, the guards let you in. Oh, yes! We're in the know. We're on the list. You are not at all surprised to find Logdanar inside, pilfering food meant for the guests and slapping on the buttocks of giggling maids. The mercenary captain laughs heartily upon seeing you, and you fall into conversation, even share some sweet Tarkian wine before he has to leave to perform his duties. Head inside. Oh, okay. The halls and corridors of the Grand Villa are filled with guests from almost all walks of life. Merchants, military people, politicians, public servants, diplomats, hustlers, entrepreneurs, mercenaries, and wanderers. Apart from the illustrious Senator Glavus, an old lecher, you can see the tribune Marcus Iolatus Vigilax, the most prominent capo of the local chapter of the Carpenters Guild, Lucius Fravo, the youngest Osculite high priest called Oram, executor Gandaro of the Church of Sergerard, and a young woman with fiery red hair who could only be Senator Nollix, allegedly an adherent of the abolitionist movement. You mingle and talk, watch dancers perform beneath crystal lamps, listen to gossip, divulge news from faraway places, and get introduced to all sorts of people. The feast itself will begin at noon, when the host, Danaram Zavaris, will appear to announce his intentions for his dynasty. You bide your time until then. At noon, you take your designated place in the grandiose main hall, while your companions sit with servants and guards in the common hall just beyond a few archways. This chamber has a high ceiling masterfully decorated with murals depicting the highlights of imperial history, all swimming in arcane light provided by the crystal lamps. Low tables laden with fruit and appetizers line the hall, set up carefully between exquisitely carved marble pillars. Most of you are either sitting in low cushioned chairs or recline on sofas. Once all the guests have taken their places, a gong's echoing sound silences the crowd, and Serkandar appears to announce the arrival of young Zavaris. The guests gasp as one when the host appears, walking out of an archway. Before you stands not a boy, but a young nobleman of magnificent stature and radiating presence. Clad in the ceremonial armor and silver laurel crown that you brought him from the smiths of Avernum, Danaram is the spitting image of the immortal emperor in those ancient murals and carvings. Some go as far as to point out that he appears as a god from ancient times. Danaram Zavaris walks up to the dais where the most esteemed guests sit on the sides of his high chair, and then speaks with a clear, pure, strong voice. "Most esteemed guests," he begins, "may you be welcome at this grand feast held in the honor of my family, the Zavari. You have been forever our good friends and noble allies. Let me express our gratitude by providing you with the very best this great empire has to offer. Let the feast begin." The guests roar as one and toast the boy dressed as a king with upheld goblets. Danaram raises a gloved hand and silence settles on the hall. "I shall announce my intentions for this noble family soon. Until then, enjoy the bounties we brought you." Eating and drinking begin right away, although you can see some guests whisper conspiratorially while looking at the boy, who now sits at the head of the chamber, with a face like carved stone. On his right is the dark elf Prince Lakor, while on his left is Senator Glavus eyeing dancers disgustingly while he is stuffing his mouth. Not half an hour has passed when the prince rises abruptly and leaves the hall, followed by his guards. After a brief pause, young Zavaris rises and silences the murmuring crowd with a gentle motion of his hand. "His Grace, the Prince Lakor had to leave sadly on urgent official business," the boy says, "but a place of honor left unfulfilled is a bad omen." There's a brief pause. He then calls Senator Nollix to the dais, who takes the place of Prince with a wide smile on her beautiful face. By the late afternoon, a few guests are blind stinking drunk, high, or making themselves vomit to be able to eat more. Danaram Zavaris barely touches his food and is very reserved, speaking little, merely looking at the gathering. Similarly not moderate are the senators and most other politicians who are eager to hear the boy's announcement. Just as several of them are becoming impatient, the young aristocrat rises and the hall falls silent. He begins to speak. "The time has come for me to explain the reason and intent of my return to public life. As you all know, the last of the Zavari is standing before you, barring our beloved emperor. My intent is to rise to prominence as a patrician worthy of my dynasty. I shall take an office of great import with the aid of the good senators here, and become the head of my family in the absence of my great ancestor." Gasps spread across the great hall. "His divine majesty fell into a slumber long ago, yes, yet over a millennium has passed, and he has shown no signs of awakening. So we, the people of the empire, have to obey the commands of his deathless proxies. However, these proxies have failed to prove in all this time that my great ancestor is indeed in a state that they claim he is in. I say that the time has come to leave behind the impotent anger and despair of dark ages, and rise to the potential of the golden age, to elevate the empire into what it was meant to be, as intended by his divine majesty, and to heal the wounds of the past. After a telling pause, many break out in applause, led by Senator Nolix, and yet you cannot help but notice how Senator Glavis and Executor Gandaro sit back reticently, exchanging meaningful looks. Danaram Zavaris raises his hand in gratitude and tells his guests to carry on feasting. He and Senator Glavis fall into conversation. Hey, we got some renown. The conversation continues for a while, but soon the senator excuses himself and leaves the feast, clearly unconvinced about backing young Zavaris. Attentive gazes follow the old man as he waddles out of the hall. The boy then talks to Senator Nolix and makes a valiant attempt to converse with a very drunk Tribune Vigilax in vain. You can see that a number of guests follow Glevis's example and leave the feast early. You glance at Serkindar and see that he looks irritated. He is about to approach you, but then stops in his tracks abruptly. His eyes are narrowed, and then go wide. He yells a warning and points towards you. Realizing that he is pointing past you, not at you, you turn quickly and bump into a servant who has a dagger in hand, poised for a throw. He's aiming at Danaram Zavaris. For a tense moment, the time slows to a crawl as you reach out, trying to disarm the assassin, but he throws the dagger. It flies right at the boy's head. Serkindar leaps at Danaram to push him aside, and thanks to this, as well as your distraction of the assassin, the dagger misses the boy by an inch. Yet the killer is not yet neutralized. He cuts you on the arm with another blade, and then jumps up on a table, and closes the distance between him and the young aristocrat in a matter of seconds. By then, Serkindar has drawn his dragonsteel longsword, and the two of them begin to fight in a ferocious duel. Your companions rush into the hall along with a handful of reavers, just when other assassins reveal themselves and attack. Although not all of your comrades make it to Danaram's side due to the ensuing chaos as guests scream trying to escape, you have to defend the boys with the ones that do. The assassins descend upon you. Assassin! We can only take 4 people. Let's bring in Nadir. Krifta. And now that he's got a Dragonstone of Protection, let's bring Skornar. And give good battle here. I imagine... Oh, God. Holy! They all have such high evade. Go for the guy who has the least evasion. Maybe we can kill him. Battle narcotics? That doesn't sound good. They're all high as hell. Oh, yikes. Don't kill Nadir before she gets to attack. That's rude. Boost Nadir? Put her... Nice! We killed a guy. Suck it. Ouch! Don't kill my mage. Good grief. Alright, axe this fool. Take that. Throw down some wards. He's evaded. How many moves does this jerk have? He stunned my whole crew. That sucks. Alright. It's up to you, Gorgoro. Damn it. He's at the back now. Haha, you missed me, nerd. Nadir's still standing. Oh, ow. Holy hell, these people are dangerous. The Wraith seems to have bled to death. Good God. Crits and evasion are incredibly annoying. Alright, we killed one guy. Oh, both of them are down now. Stop attacking my mage. She's on the ground. Pick her up. Same thing with Skornar. We don't want to let them die if we can help it. Move to the front. Now you're dead. Suck it, nerd. It's times like this I miss having Sidarius on my team. Once the last assassin is killed, you and Serkindar escort a shocked Danaram to a back room. Most of the guests have fled by now, but some were slain in the ensuing chaos. Among them, dang, is Senator Nolix, who the assassins must have targeted besides the young nobleman. The surviving reavers secure the hall, and Logdanar joins you in a side chamber. What is the meaning of this? Danaram asks while the rest of you are trying to recuperate, breathing heavily. It's the effing Adermanis. That's what it is. Serkandar's face is a mask of rage. They will not rest until you are slain, and they are known for their relentless pursuit of their targets. More of them will come shortly to finish the job. The boy's chin quivers. We should rely on our allies, their aid. Aid? Serkandar cuts him off with a yell. There is no aid, don't you get it? It's over. We've been fooled. They allowed us to go this far because they wanted to draw you out and kill you in front of an audience, to make an example of you. If they just wanted you dead, they would have killed you long ago. The game is up. Danarem Zavaris regains his composure. Serkandar, he says with more decisiveness now, you and your masters promised me. F your promises, the steward hisses. Punch him. This guy's gone too far, and I don't like him anyway. You swing at the steward and catch him square in the jaw. He stumbles back and leans into a wall, and then looks up at you with a cold fury, sword still in hand. Logdanar steps firmly between the two of you. The moment of tension passes. Serkandar blinks a few times, his rage somewhat abated. He realizes how inappropriate his behavior has been. I'm finding all this faintly idiotic, he says. He sighs. Logdanar is grinding his teeth, piercing the steward with an angry glare. Apologies, Dominus. Apologies. We should leave the villa and disappear, for your safety. You ask him how he is planning to do that. We should take the kitchen, Logdanar says, and everyone looks at him. Leads down to the cellars, he adds with a shy smile. And into the sewers, then, like rats, Serkandar whispers to himself. Where are we going, then? Danarem asks quickly. Out of Devon, Dominus, the steward replies. Out of sight for a while, perhaps back to the Dragonlands. Danarem Zavaris nods, finally having realized the game is up. Then you remember something. You remember now that you have seen the first assassin before. He was a kitchen servant you came across briefly while fraternizing with Logdanar upon your arrival in the villa. This might mean that several members of the surviving staff could have been infiltrated, so you discourage taking any routes that take you near the kitchens. The others agree, so you end up taking some stairs leading through the storage levels. The company is about to make it to the room with the entrance shaft of the city's sewers when a throwing dagger flies out of a dark alcove and hits a reaver in the throat. The man dies, assassins leaping out of their hiding places, and a fight ensues. You have to protect the boy. Alright, there's only 3 of them this time. Let's swap out the wounded for Garrick and then Harvick. Yeah, that'll work. We'll let Javik try his best. Alright, stab this dude. Good stab. He's locked in place now. Kill him. Don't you dare narcotic that guy. You narcoticked yourself, you maniac. You druggie. Alright, let's mind meld. And then do a kickin'. Or let's do a stabbing. Ooh, crit. Very good. Shoot him. Dead. The fact that we got to kill him before he got to use his second move is pretty sick. You stop that with your critical hits and all that. Aha! I can do that too. Take that. Once the assassins are soundly defeated, you push on, descending a long ladder and entering the sewers. Following Serkandar, the team travels far in the stinking tunnels and finally emerges in a quiet alley in the Hinter Caves. Nobody is around, so you catch your breath. I'll take the Dominus with me, Serkandar says after a while. Take him somewhere safe, and then we'll see where we go. You and the Reavers would just draw unwanted attention, so this is where we part. He looks at Logdanar. You've more than been fairly compensated. The mercenary captain nods. Young Zavaris takes off his ceremonial armor carefully, which they put in a large sack. He looks like an urchin now. Realizing this is goodbye, he walks up to you and hands you the silver laurel crown. My eternal gratitude shall go with you, Vagrus, he says solemnly. Take this as a farewell gift. He dons a hooded cloak, hiding his gleaming eyes, and then joins Serkandar. Then they are off, disappearing into a side street. Well, that sucks, mate, the mercenary captain says after a while. It's one thing that our employment is over again, but damn, I really like that boy. You ask the large man what he is planning to do now. I'll have to make up my mind, but I think we'll rest here for starters, and then look for another job. Same old, same old. I don't think we're in any kind of danger, see? Artemanus is very thorough when it comes to their orders, and their target is the boy. Add to that, we're nobodies anyway. He turns to you and you shakes your hand. Good luck on your travels, mate. Hope to see you again someday. You say your farewells and head back to the Comitatus. Well, cool. That was a fun end to the Dread Reavers storyline. No one... Well, I guess the senator got killed. I was going to say no one important died, but maybe that's not true. Anyway, that's a good place to pause. I think next time we will check in on our cool salt spot to see how that has progressed. And then I guess we'll see what else comes, because I guess maybe we'll try to keep pushing Javik's stuff along. But for now, if you guys enjoyed the episode, please click the like button. It helps me out a lot. If you want to see more episodes of Vagrus, the Riven Realms, or the other videos I have going on the channel, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you have your notifications on so you know when the next videos go live. But until next time, everybody, I hope you had a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye, everybody!